you starting now?
Yep.
Okay, I'll hit the timer.
Hey Dylan, good to see you again. How are you doing?
Good to see you too. I'm doing okay since we last met.
Yeah? That's good to hear. I was reviewing some of case notes from our talk last time, and I know I assigned you some homework based on our conversation about, your wife changing the dynamics in your current family and having to learn her current family. You felt like you didn't know where you belonged anymore.
Right.
And so you said with your current family, you had come to accept that you weren't always included. And so I had asked you to think a little bit about what belonging would look like for you, and also being included. Did you think on any of that during this week?
Yeah, I gave it some thought.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I guess I would say it's an evolving sort of situation. I feel like I belong with her family.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm included there, and I am. It's just something that, I'm having to be introduced to as the newcomer to the family, right? We've only been married a short time.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel that there is belonging and inclusion in that situation.
Mm-hmm. And so how does that feeling of belonging and inclusion, even though it's new, feel compared to how it feels with your family?
It's different. For some time, I've been kind of on my own, doing my own thing, apart from my family,
Mm-hmm.
without any feeling of belonging or inclusion there.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is. It's different
Mm-hmm.
for me to experience that, but yes, it's. I don't know that I'd say it's all bad.
Mm-hmm.
It is something I'm having to adjust to, though.
Mm-hmm. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm trying to piece it together. So, is it that when you started to see what belonging and inclusion looked like with her family, you were able to compare it to your own family and see the difference? Is that maybe where the transition, like, wait a second, so this is what belonging looks like? Is that kind of how it evolved, or was it just when they were very disrespectful and weren't allowing your wife to have the same belonging that her family was offering you?
Well, it's. I'd say that's about right. The part of it is that my family isn't offering that same sense of belonging or inclusion to her
Mm-hmm.
that her family's offered to me. I think that I would really have to say that it's not that I had to see her family to be able to compare it to mine.
Okay.
I guess I had to see her family to start to care again.
Wow. I just got
Like I said,
chills.
I've known that, it's been me doing my own thing for some time.
Mm-hmm.
The issues of not being included and not feeling like I belong with my own family have been something I've kind of come to terms with,
Mm-hmm.
and I've sort of moved on with my life.
Mm-hmm.
I do my own thing, and then I see her family, and then I just start to care about it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want our two families to get together and to belong.
Right. So if I'm hearing you right, when you started being with her family, it brought up those feelings of, this is what I used to want, but I gave up. Is that correct with your family? And just kind of decided that I had to defend myself and move on to my own life? because that wasn't gonna be an option for me? Am I getting that right? I mean, I don't wanna.
Yeah, I think that's a good start there, yes.
Mhm. Wow, those are one of the most natural things in the world. I mean, it's just the way we're wired, is to want to belong. It is a powerful, it's why we lived in tribes and why we have families, and, you know, it's just an innate desire to want to belong. And so to have that and then not have it, because you had belonging with your parents, correct? You felt like you belonged when they were alive, correct?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So then they pass away, and then you're going into a very tough time, and then not belonging, and then now you're back to belonging, which is a great thing. I mean, there's got to be so many upsides to that, to feeling like this is what belonging feels like. Does that resonate with you? Am I?
Yeah, it does. It resonates with me.
Mm-hmm. So, now we're looking at how do we go from belonging, not belonging, belonging, and then now you're seeing that rift. So how do we go about putting it in a context that you can be at peace with? Because we know we can't change other people. We can only change the way we perceive them, right? So, you know, it's wonderful that you found belonging with her and with your family, and that's such a gift. And so when we look at one of the goals that, you know, we want to do for your therapy, is it, you know, the goal, one of those goals to be finding some peace with that rift between you and I really don't want to say you and your family, but just the rift, that the difference, let me put that in a way, the difference between your family structure operates and your wife's operates. Would that be a good goal if, you know, we could walk out of here, that you would feel at peace with the way things are?
Yeah, I think that would be a very good goal.
Yeah, so to do that, I mean, like I see you tapping your foot and a little tense. Can you just kind of tell me what's going on in here, a little bit about how you're feeling right now? And I noticed you were grinding your teeth a little bit, so I just would like to understand what this is bringing up for you, because this is powerful stuff.
It is. I think it's just feelings of anxiety, of anxiousness, of having to deal with my family rather than just being able to walk away from the whole thing.
And that anxiety comes from?
Just from I guess from the rift in the past.
Mm-hmm.
From I've been there, and now I'm having to go through it again.
Right. You know, that makes, you've been there, done that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when people behave badly, sometimes it's really hard. It takes a really big heart to go back in and say, let's try again. And you know, we're coming to the end of our session, and we've done, you know, wow, what's some good work, you know, because I understand that you're feeling anxious about even trying to heal that rift with your family. And so, you know, and you have positives now of having support, and maybe leveraging some of that support could give you the peace that you need to either accept them as they are, or maybe try to work with them in another way. But, you know, maybe for some homework, what you could do is write out, okay, what, if you got to pick your family, what would that family look like? What would that relationship look like? What does good look like for you? So, you know, you've thought about belonging and you thought about inclusion, okay, so what does that look like in terms of relationships with people? So take it a little further, and next time when you come, we'll talk about what your ideal family would look like, and then we can see how it compares to your current family, all right?
Okay,
All right, does that sound good?
that sounds good to me.
Great. You can see Jude, and she will help you set up the next appointment.
All right,
Thank you. Okay.
11 minutes, 18 seconds.
Okay.
Number